Good morning. I'm going to read through the district assessment today for you. Let's take a look at it. All right, so this is an informative essay, text-based assessment. Read the migration passage set and respond to the prompt. Here's the prompt. Write an informative essay, that's information, to teach the reader about how and why animals migrate. Use evidence from both text to support your answer from the text. So there's two different text sessions down, text sections down here. Birds soar up and down around highest mountains. And the first one is Arctic Tern World Traveler. Manage your time carefully so that you can read the passages, plan your response, write your response, and revise and edit your response. Be sure to include an introduction, information from the passages as support, and a conclusion that is related to the information presented. Your response should be in the form of a multi-paragraph essay. Write your response in the space provided, and you have to write it, so you'll need to do it on a piece of notebook paper, or you can print out the lined paper at the bottom of this document. It starts right there. So let's read through this. Arctic Tern World Traveler, Arctic Tern in flight. The Arctic tern is a small bird that makes the longest migration of any bird. It probably travels more than any other bird in the world. The polar regions. The Arctic is another name for the North Pole. It is the northernmost point on Earth. The South Pole, or Antarctic, is the southernmost point on Earth. The North Pole and South Pole are farthest places from the equator, so they get the least amount of sunlight. They are cold places throughout the year. How do animals survive in these conditions? Many leave at the coldest times of the year. Some birds breed in the Arctic during the summer. When winter comes, they fly to warmer places. This is called migration. It happens year after year. Meet the Arctic tern. The Arctic tern is about 12 to 15 inches long, about the size of your arm from elbow to fingertip. This lightweight flyer weighs less than half a pound. The Arctic tern has webbed feet. It has a long forked tail. Its legs are short and red. Its head is rounded and white with a black cap. Arctic terns usually live about 20 years. However, there is a record of one Arctic tern that lived to 34 years. Arctic tern homes. Female Arctic terns lay 1 to 2 eggs at a time in a grassy area. Both parents care for the eggs and feed the hatchlings or baby birds that have just hatched. Arctic terns are social birds and live in large groups called colonies. Just before they migrate, a noisy colony of birds suddenly becomes quiet. Then they all take to the air and fly away. Bird of the sun. After breeding, the Arctic tern flies across the globe to shores of Antarctica. The long journey ensures that this bird sees 2 summers per year. Arctic terns see more daylight than any other creature on the planet. Arctic terns are fishing birds. During migration, they feed by diving into the sea. The tern swoops down into the water to catch its prey. Its favorite foods include small fish, shrimp, and krill. After spending the summer in Antarctica, the tern flies back to the Arctic. Most Arctic terns return to where they were hatched, often to the same colony. Arctic terns make the longest migrations known in the animal kingdom. Here is their route. There's South America, Africa, down to Antarctica and up to Arctic again, the Arctic zone. Birds soar up, down, and around highest mountains. Here's another bird. Do you think riding a roller coaster is scary? Some birds in Asia zoom up and down across some of the world's tallest mountains, just like a roller coaster. Scientists studied the birds called bar-headed geese. They were on their way south for winter. Geese often spend the summer in one place and then move on for the winter so they can stay warm. This is called migration. The scientists followed the birds across the world's tallest mountains. They found that the geese do not fly in a straight line. The birds fly up, down, and around, much like a roller coaster moves, following the shape of the mountains. Long journey south. Every winter, the bar-headed geese leave Mongolia, a country between China and Russia. The birds fly across the world's tallest mountains. They head south to their winter homes in India and Tibet. When it comes to flying south for the winter, the birds work very hard. The scientists said the birds have many.
Miss Hobelman, please come to the front office, please. Miss Hobelman, please come to the front office.
The scientists said the birds have many difficulties when they take off for the winter. They have to cross deserts and oceans. Still, the bar-headed goose is special. If they gave an award for the highest flying bird, the bar-headed goose would win easily. It is one of the few birds that flies across the Himalaya mountains. So you can print this out. You can print out the lined paper. You can print out the notes and planning. But one thing is for sure, you should write 3 or 4, and I recommend 4 paragraphs about the prompt. And again, the prompt is write an informative essay. You're providing information from the text we just read to teach the reader about how and why animals migrate. How and why animals migrate. Use evidence from both texts to support your answer. So paragraphs, topic sentence, supporting sentence, concluding sentences, and make sure it's clear that the paragraph, each paragraph is separated and clear that there's 3 or 4 different paragraphs. And again, I recommend 4. You have 90 minutes.